Hi everyone, it's Sam from Chiropractic Plus. I'm super excited to talk about some recipes today. So we all know that chiropractic is so important and we know the power of the adjustment, but implementing all 5 essentials is super important if you want to reach that optimum 100% health. Today I'm talking about the third essential, nutrition. I'm a certified health coach and one of my favorite things to do is share recipes. So today I want to focus on those comfort foods. It's super easy when you're rushing around at work or maybe you're hunkered down in your house and you just want those comfort foods. So today I'm just going to do 3 recipes that are super easy to do in your home, limited ingredients, and they give you that comfort food feeling without the harmful side effects. So the first one I'm going to do is cashew queso. Super easy. First ingredient is going to be 1 cup of raw cashews. Okay? Add in there. The second is 1 clove of garlic. So that's that. You don't have to mince them. You don't have to make super tiny pieces of garlic. Little chunks are fine because the blender is going to do the job for you. Put that in there. The next thing is nutritional yeast. Now nutritional yeast gives it that cheesy flavor, but without the possible harm of dairy. Now dairy is not all bad. We'll get into that later, but if you do have a dairy allergy, nutritional yeast is definitely a good way to avoid the dairy. So with the nutritional yeast, it's 2 tablespoons. So 1, 2. Okay, and then a half a teaspoon of cumin. Do notice that I am getting organic seasonings. This is because you want to make sure that it only has that in it, only cumin. A lot of times the products, the off-brands, the whatever, they are putting other things in there, fillers, to make it less expensive. So even if you don't have those things now, use up the jar that you have, and then next time you buy that thing, get the organic, read the label, make sure you're getting the right stuff. Then I'm doing 1 teaspoon of chili powder, again organic chili powder. So this is a half a teaspoon, so I'm going to do 2 to make it 1. And then a half a teaspoon of salt. That in there. Now the salt that I'm using is Himalayan pink sea salt. This is very important that you are using quality salt, because salt is not a bad thing as long as you're using the quality salt. So make sure you're getting quality things in your kitchen. Okay, and then get this out. It is 3/4 to 1 cup of water. So hot water. So I've boiled some water. Look in here. I'm going to do 3/4 of a cup. Okay. Dump that in there. Now, okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and blend this. Now, if you don't have one of these fancy devices, you can use a blender. Blenders work as well. Okay, so I'm just going to turn this on, and actually, I'm going to go ahead and so if it gets a little little dry, it says 3/4 to 1 cup of water. So if you feel it needs a little bit more water, feel free to add another 1/4 cup. Okay, but mine's looking pretty good. Just gonna turn that off and take a look at what we got here. You might have to scrape down the sides. So this is looking pretty good. So I let that sit for a second. I do want to go over, don't ruin the queso that you made that is healthy and nutritious with bad chips. So, I got these chips from Sprouts. They are coconut flour tortillas. So the only ingredients are coconut flour, cassava starch, coconut oil, xylitol gum, and salt, kosher salt. Okay. They're gluten-free. They don't have any bad oils. One of the most important things when you're picking out chips is looking for those bad oils, okay? So a lot of times they're putting those canola oils in there, which we are going to talk about today a little bit with the oils and good fats. But coconut oil is a good one. Avocado oil. They're starting to have more chip options out there, so just make sure you're reading the labels. These are the ones I got. These are my favorite ones, but there's lots of options out there if you go to the right store. Okay, so that is our queso. I'm going to put this in a pretty bowl and we'll go from there. Hi. Okay, so I put the queso in a bowl. Okay, getting all ready to eat. The other thing you can do is add hot sauce. So this is the brand that I use, and I will go ahead and post a picture of that along with this post so that you have it. I trust this brand because it doesn't have any bad ingredients. A lot of times with hot sauce, they add sugar to it, and we're trying to avoid those sugars, right? So I just put a little hot sauce right on top here. Alright. And enjoy. On to dinner, okay? Everyone loves a good spaghetti. It's super easy to make. You throw some noodles in there, boil them up, ground beef, sauce. Well, that's pretty much all this is, except we're changing the noodles to spaghetti squash. You'll notice in this recipe, it's 3 ingredients. All you need, spaghetti squash, grass-fed organic ground beef, and spaghetti sauce. Now, be careful with the spaghetti sauce. A lot of times they're adding a bunch of different ingredients, things that aren't really necessary, things that can actually hurt your body. A lot of different weird oils. This brand, Primal Kitchen, this is the brand that I use all the time. They have a mayonnaise, they have a hot sauce, they have all sorts of things, salad dressings. This is a great brand. I trust them. They don't put sugar and junk in their condiments. They make good quality things. So let's get started. So the first thing to do is clean our spaghetti squash, okay? So if you haven't worked with a spaghetti squash, it's pretty simple. I'm just gonna cut the end off here. Okay, and then I'm just cutting it directly in half. Let's see here. I like to do it this way. I'm not a chef. I just do what works. Okay. Ta-da. Okay. Just like a pumpkin or any other squash, there's seeds in there. So I'm gonna bring my trash can over here. And I'm just scraping all these seeds out, okay? Pretty simple. make it nice and clean in there. Okay. Same with the other side. There's two ways, well, a couple ways to cook your spaghetti squash. So the directions in the recipe I'm sending you say to get a pan such as this one, okay? Fill the bottom with water, and then place your spaghetti squash upside down, okay? But I am going to do the fast method, which if you are so lucky to have an Instapot, you should get one if you don't have one. They are amazing and cooks these in 7 minutes. With the pan, if you use the pan, it's gonna take 35 to 40 minutes. And what you do is you just put them in the pan, stick them in the oven at, I think it's 350, and it takes 30 to 45 minutes. You want them really nice and soft so you can get all of the spaghetti noodles out. So, with the Instapot, I'm putting water at the bottom. It has this little, I guess I'll show you. Put water at the bottom, and then comes with this little basket. Okay, put that in there. That just makes it easier to get the spaghetti squashes out. Go ahead and set these in here. Okay. Put the lid on. And then you're gonna go to pressure cook. Change the time. 7 minutes and push start. Okay, and it takes about 1 or 2 minutes to just get started, to start building up the pressure, so it's more like 10 minutes. But while that is cooking, we can go ahead and do the next step, which is to brown the ground beef. So, open up this ground beef here. I'm turning the pan on. One thing about pans while this is heating up, make sure you're getting a pan that doesn't have that Teflon, that non-stick in there. The problem with those is when you're using it, it starts to break off into your food, and that's something you really don't want to do. Also be careful that with whatever pan you get, if you start to see any type of scrapes in there, that means it's starting to break down. Just get rid of it, get a new one. The pan that I'm using is a copper pan, and it doesn't have anything in it that would break off into my food and be toxic to me. So just be aware of that, be aware, take care of your pans. But yeah, so I think this one is all warmed up. So we're gonna go ahead and just put the ground beef in there. Okay, so now we are going to work on our salad to go with our spaghetti. So the first thing here, let's do the dressing. Just get that out of the way. So the dressing that I'm making is a lime avocado dressing. Feel free to buy your own dressing. I personally just like to make my own. Whatever works best for you. Again, that Primal Kitchen brand, that's gonna be a good brand to use. They have all different kinds. I personally have a Caesar dressing right now. Just whatever works best for you. So to do the dressing, and I'll send this recipe as well, it's 1.5 avocados. I'm gonna go ahead and just use 2. Then I don't just have a half avocado lying around. Let's see here. Okay. Then we do 1/4 cup of lime juice. So I thought I had more limes, but I only have one. This probably won't cut it. So I do have some lime juice here. Make sure with lime juice that you are getting quality lime juice. Again, here's another read the label moment. Spaghetti's done. Because a lot of times they put a bunch of fillers in here and it's not straight lime juice. This is. So with this lime, the one lime I have, I'm going to juice into here. So it almost did 1/4 of a cup, just a little more to top it off. Okay. Dump that in. Okay. Then we're looking at 1/4 of a cup of olive oil. I have avocado oil, works just the same. This is another good fat, okay? Good oils, good fat. Make sure you're getting quality stuff. So I'm doing 1/4 of a cup of that. I did it a little bit. It happens. And then 1/4 of a cup of water. Try not to spill it. Water. 1/2 teaspoon of crushed garlic. So again with the garlic, because it's going in the food processor, as this fancy machine is, you don't have to cut it super small, okay? Because the machine will do the work for you. So I'm just gonna cut it up a bit, and we're doing, how much should I say, 1/2 teaspoon. So 1 clove is about 1/2 teaspoon, okay? Toss that in there. Then I'm looking at the cilantro. I got some cilantro here, just roast it. And we're doing 1/4 of a cup of cilantro. So cilantro you can just cut right at the start, okay? This is a little over. Take some out, save that for some guac maybe. Okay, so about 1/4 of a cup there, cilantro. All right, then we're doing 1/8 of a teaspoon of cumin. And I went over earlier, just make sure you're getting those quality ingredients here with this cumin. And then I knocked the lid on the floor, so I'll wash that. And then the cumin, we're gonna do pepper. I only have the grind it yourself pepper, so I'm just gonna do a little bit in there. It's 1/8 also. And then the salt, we're doing 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And that's it. That's all that's going in the dressing. So we'll go ahead and get the lid on. And we will turn it on. Let it run for a little bit. And then we'll have some tasty dressing that we know has healthy ingredients in there for us. Okay, so now that we have the dressing all mixed up and ready, we are going to make our salad. So, grab a bowl, and the first thing you want to put your lettuce in there. Make sure you are getting organic lettuce. This is super important because lettuce is one of those things that gets sprayed a ton, okay? So really pay attention, make sure you're getting quality lettuce. You don't want any of those toxins that they spray them with, okay? So I'm just gonna put that in the bowl here. So the beauty with salads is that you can put whatever you want in there, whatever you like. I like to keep my salads pretty simple, but whatever you're in the mood for. I like cucumbers, so I'm gonna put cucumbers in here. Another vegetable you wanna make sure that you get organic is cucumbers, okay? So I'm just gonna chop this guy up. I like to do it in fourths. Okay, let's see what I'm doing here. Okay. Again, I'm not a chef. I can't do this super fast or anything crazy like those other cooking shows you do. Do the best I can. Okay. Just try not to cut my fingers. It's really the key. All right, cucumber's done. Go ahead and put that in our salad. Right. Next thing we did, I have some radishes. I like radishes mainly because they add some color to my salad. So I'm just gonna cut these off of here. Again, add whatever you want in your salad. If you like tomatoes, I love tomatoes. Dr. Andrew is not the biggest fan of tomatoes unless they're fresh out of the garden. He does love those. And just cleaning these guys up. Then I like to do them nice and thin. You can do them however you want. I've seen people do them more like in fourths. Okay, so have those all sliced up. Toss these in the salad. Okay, add some color. The next thing I'm gonna add is some goat cheese crumbles. Okay, again, well, so I have a little bit of an irritation to dairy. Goat cheese has a little bit less lactose in it, so it doesn't really upset my stomach. Whereas if I used full fat cheese, that is gonna upset my tummy a little bit. Just kind of play it by ear, but do not be afraid of fat. Fat is good, and I know we've talked about this before if you've been to one of our nutrition workshops. So if you are gonna use cheese, just make sure you're getting organic, good quality cheese where the animals had free range to eat grass. That's where you're gonna get the best quality milk. Also, you want that full fat. You want to get those nutritional value from the fat. So I'm using goat cheese. You can use whatever works for you. Just make sure it's good quality. Okay? No cheese at all. Again, that's the beauty of salads. You don't have to do what I do. You can put whatever you like on your salad. Okay? Just taking this off. Sprinkle a little on there. Okay. All right, and you can kind of see the beautiful salad that I made. Lots of colors, veggies, tasty, and then you have the really delicious dressing as well to go on top. All right, everyone, we're almost done with everything. So I took the spaghetti squashes out of the Instapot so I can start letting them cool, because when they come out, they are very hot, and we want to be able to get in there and get all the middle part out. Okay, so I also have browned my ground beef. Okay, looking good there. So I'm going to add the spaghetti sauce. Okay, the recipe says a can of spaghetti sauce, but do whatever works for you. Okay, if you like it really saucy, add a lot of sauce. If you don't like it super saucy. Okay, so added the sauce. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just stir it all in there. You can do this over the pan so that it's nice and hot, but just so you guys weren't looking at my back, I'm doing it right here. Okay, so all the sauce is in, everything's stirred up. And I'm gonna go ahead and, okay, so I gave these a few more minutes to cool down because they were very hot. So what you do is you're just gonna grab it, go ahead and take a spoon, and you're just taking everything out of the, okay? As you can tell, it is still very hot. Try not to burn myself here. All right, so it comes out, it's starting to look more like spaghetti, okay? And then just kind of break up the clumps so that it stays spaghetti-like. And there you have it. All right, so I have the spaghetti, I have the sauce, and then you just mix it in. I'm excited to share a chocolate chip cookie recipe because everyone deserves a treat every once in a while. So the first ingredient is going to be almond butter, which I've put, it is 1 cup of almond butter. Now, make sure you're getting quality almond butter. Again, this is another time to really make sure you're reading the labels. You might have to stand in the aisle and read labels for a little while with almond butter. They put oils, all kinds of oils in there, all kinds of things. Sugar is another big thing they put in almond butter, which you wouldn't really think that would be in there. Anyway, so just make sure you're reading the label. This brand is a Sprouts brand, and the only ingredient in here is dry roasted almonds, so you don't have to worry about any other oils being in here. Also, these were very reasonably priced. Most of the time, the higher priced almond butter is usually the ones that are just almonds. Again, another read the label moment. Okay, so first thing first, we are going to put the almond butter in the bowl. Next thing, we are going to use recipe that you will all see, it says erythritol, that is a alternative to sugar. The one I'm using is monk fruit. It's a monk fruit sweetener. This does have erythritol in it as well. But these sugars don't raise your blood sugar, so that's why we're using them. They're part of the advanced plan. We need 3/4 of a cup of that. Okay, so this is a 1/2 cup, so I'm just going to do a little bit more to make it 3/4. So a little extra to make it 3/4. Just a little bit more. Okay, so that's done. The next ingredient is 1 egg. Make sure you are getting organic, free-ranged eggs, okay? Super important. You don't want eggs that have that come from chickens that have added hormones, that are in a small little tiny cage. You're not getting quality eggs. And if you haven't gotten organic eggs before, and this is your first time, you will be able to see the difference in the yolk. That's something that really blew my mind. You get a nice yellow yolk here, have a good quality egg, okay? The next thing is our baking powder. Again, make sure you're getting quality baking powder. You get 1/2 teaspoon like this. In there. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Again, as I mentioned in a previous video, make sure you're getting quality salt. Okay. 1 teaspoon vanilla. Vanilla is another one of those things that they add a lot of stuff to. This is an organic vanilla. Vanilla is a little bit expensive when you're getting the quality stuff, but totally worth it. They add a lot of fillers for vanilla. But the only ingredients that you should see in your vanilla is, let's see what this one says, vanilla bean, water, and organic alcohol. That is how they extract vanilla, is through alcohol. You can actually make your own, which I want to try one of these days. All you do is get the vanilla pods, put them in alcohol, and let them soak for I think like 3 months or something, and that alcohol is extracting the vanilla, and that's where you get the vanilla extract. It's pretty interesting. But make sure those are the only ingredients, that you're not getting any of those filler stuff in there. So we've got the vanilla, and then, so then we will mix a little, okay? Mix it around. Make sure you really, almond butter can be a little tricky sometimes. It gets really sticky. Okay, so after everything's really mixed up, add the chocolate chips. Okay, so this is 3 ounces. I'm gonna do, you can measure if you want. It says 3 ounces in this. I'm gonna do 1/3 of a cup. See how that looks. I think I need some more chocolate chips. You can certainly have some. So another thing, chocolate chips, okay? We know that dark chocolate is better for us. This is something we've always been told. You want to get something 80% or higher typically, but to be on the safe side, this brand, Lily's, is sweetened with erythritol. So it's not, and stevia. So you're not getting the sugar, you don't have to worry about the sugar, okay? Lily's is the best brand, well, it's the brand I use, and won't go advertising for them, but it's the brand I use for all of my baking as far as chocolate goes. Okay, so I'm going to see what a third of a cup looks like here. Okay, sprinkle those in and fold the chocolate chips in. Okay, so I just put everything away so you can see me kind of making the cookies. So I stirred everything up. I like to use I call it a cookie scoop. If it has another name, please comment below and let me know. Cookie scoop. And all I do is make a little ball in here, pop it out, round it off, and put it on the cookie sheet. I give it a little press, just a little, and that's what I do, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so after you've put all the cookies on the sheet, you can go ahead and put it in the oven. The oven should be at 350, and you will put it in. Okay, and you put them in there for about 8 to 10 minutes. So I like to do 8 minutes, rotate the pans, take a look at them, put them in for another few minutes. Okay? Okay, so this is everything that we made today. We have our queso with the hot sauce and our healthy chips. We have our salad with that delicious salad dressing that we made ourselves. We have the spaghetti with our meat sauce, and of course a little dessert, some chocolate chip cookies to finish it off. Okay everyone, well I hope you enjoy these recipes. Thank you for watching. Please leave comments below. Any suggestions that you have for next week, let me know. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks.